ni ambiriirie kugia na unyitaniri na honge itari cia githirikari gwa kairathi na kugura desk cia macukuru ma muingi niguo kuhe arutwo riera riega ria guthomera. Ikinya riri riambiriirie na unyitaniri na bengi ya Equity iria ihurite njeki cukuru wa muthingi wa highway na njira ya kumagurira desk 70. Mubunge akiuga ati ikinya riri ni rikuhuthiria thirikari murigo wa gukinyaniria mutaratara wa githomo wa CBC igana kwa igana.
Koguo na tukiaria mbeca cirarutirwo ni treasury 8 billion cia gwaka irathi. Constituency no iraheo irathi 54 peke yake. Ngeciria ona tungiheo double bado itingĩigana tondu transition ino nitũramĩbatara nigetha na ciana irathi CBC ikorwo na waraganu wa kuigana na menya tuhindi ya covid koguo niturenda andu matagane hanini koguo nitugukorwo tukiongerera ona desk nituguthondeka 60 kuongerera cukuru ino ihinda rĩrĩa rĩrarĩ ritũ muno ni hĩndĩ ĩyo ciana irarĩ mĩciĩ no tha ici cukuru kira twagĩrĩire gwĩka nĩ twahakikisha nĩ twathondeka cukuru
tweta bengi nĩtũgwĩka ũrĩa tũkũhota tunyitane na thirikari na no nyende kwĩra andũ angĩ na kũunja kambuni ingĩ ciũke tunyitanĩre hamwe nũndũ wa maũndũ maya makweneza maũndũ ma gĩthomo thĩinĩ wa bũrũri witũ.
Tuheo irathi icio kwa na ihenya tondũ irathi ici citũ cihũrĩte ciana makĩria maigana rĩmwe kĩrathi kĩmwe na tuongererwo arimũ arĩa twĩ nao tũtige gũkũrĩhaga arimũ thirikari ĩna nabathi ya kwandĩka arimũ twandĩkĩrwo arimũ nĩgetha tũkorwo twĩna ciana citũ gũgĩthoma wega.
Kanjo iria yarũmbanagia na maũndũ mahutanitie na HIV AIDS ni yambĩrĩirie mũbango wa gũthomithia andũ ethĩ a gatagatĩ ka ũkũrũ wa mĩaka 10 na 19 mogwati marĩa makoragwo makũrĩire maitho kana makũrĩire andũ maitho rĩrĩa marona na kĩmwĩrĩ thutha wa riboti kuma Kanjo ĩno kuonania atĩ aingĩ a airĩtu arĩa marohanda marĩ na mĩaka-inĩ ĩno. Ũhoro ũyũ wanĩrĩirwo nĩ mũrũgamĩrĩri mũnene wa Kanjo ya bũrũri ya kũhũrana na gũtamba kwa HIV AIDS Angeline Siparo Isera kana icera-inĩ rĩake cukuru-inĩ wa itiganĩte kaunti-inĩ ya Naroko.
You also have minors who have been married, and that's also an important one because they actually raise the rate of prevalence. The other thing is we also have injecting drug users, and then we also have children who have been put into sex work and trafficking. So the prevalence can range anywhere from 9 all the way up to 15%, and it's an important thing to consider that it's not a neutral ground. There are places where the infection rates are very high.
Naelezewa ya kwamba kaunti ya Nairobi inaongoza lakini kaunti ya Narok ni namba 4 ambayo hiyo ni jambo la kuhuzunisha sana kwa sababu kaunti yetu ni ndogo. Kama tutakuwa namba 4 Kenya mzima inamaanisha hiyo shida ni kubwa sana kwa kaunti yetu. Tujue ni nini ambayo inachangia kwa watoto wetu kupata mimba za mapema ambayo inaenda kudhuru maisha yao ya baadaye.
You also have who have been married, and that's also an important.
Andũ aingĩ arĩa maragerera mbara-inĩ cia kĩmũciĩ kaunti-inĩ ya Samburu nĩ atumia na airĩtu. Kambĩini ya thikũ 16 ĩkĩrugũrio ya gũtambia ndũmĩrĩri ya kũregana na mbara iria itũngagia atumia kana athuri thĩinĩ wa mĩciĩ matũũra-inĩ. Thirikari nĩyanĩrĩria mũbango ũrĩa worotithĩtie kũnyihia ciĩko cia kũruithia atumia na kũhikithia airĩtu kĩa hinya na atumia kũhũrwo nĩ athuri ao.
Mambo ya gender tusichukulie kama ni akina mama peke yake. Gender ni mambo mengi, yanahusu vijana, yanahusu kina mama, yanahusu wasichana wetu na wanahusu pia wazee wetu. Kwa hivyo ni siku mzuri kwetu pia kueneza habari, kueleza kwamba sisi tukomeshe dhuluma ya kijinsia.
Through these 16 days of gender activism, we will be sensitizing the members of community, the members of Samburu community on the forms of gender-based violence.
Tunahamasisha umma ili mambo ya tohara ya wasichana iweze kuisha. Pia dhulma kwa kina mama wa Samburu.
It is actually very pathetic. It is time that has gone and we need to sharpen our people as young people that we need to change these perceptions and go to the way that the world is designing each and everyone to go.
Ũmũthĩ nĩrĩo mũthia wa kĩgomano gĩa thirikari cia matũũra kĩrĩa gĩkoretwo gĩgĩthiĩ na mbere mwena wa Wote kaunti-inĩ ya Makueni. Atongoria makĩrĩgĩrĩrwo kũrekereria ũiguithanio wao mendekithia marĩa makoretwo kana magĩcirĩrwo kwa ihinda rĩa thikũ 4 cia kĩgomano gĩkĩ. Kwa ihinda rĩrĩ ikundi irecokanĩria na mendekithia mao mũire kĩgomano gĩkĩ kinĩkĩrĩire. Kwa ihinda rĩrĩ mũndũ ũraria nĩ mũtongoria kana nĩ mũikarĩri gĩtĩ wa Kanjo ya magavana Martin Wambora nowe gavana wa kaunti ya Embu.
you are the people with a lot of stamina and a sense of duty, because after 4 days you are still strong. Pongezi. Special thanks also from myself to the partners, without whose support this conference would not have been a success. To the steering committee and the planning committee, co-chaired by my vice chairman of the Council of Governors, asanteni sana. May I also take the opportunity to thank the COG staff, led by their CEO, Mary Merit, for continuously being dedicated tirelessly for the success of this function. Before I invite our chief guest, Waziri Wamarwa, for accepting to grace the crossing ceremony today, may I also finally thank our host, Governor, my colleague, Governor Kibwana, and his very dedicated First Lady for, I've not seen anything like this, 2 partners with us for 4 days without tiring. Asante sana. You deserve those coffees. And of course, before I invite the chief guest, may I also thank you, Waziri, for graciously accepting at the last minute to grace this function. You are a true friend in need, and we thank you most heartedly. With those comments, may I now ask you to be upstanding as I invite the hardworking Waziri, Minister of Defense, and formerly very able Minister for Devolution, to address us moja kwa moja. Asante. Waziri, karibu.
Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Governor Martin Wambora, the Chair, COG, Excellencies, Governors, President, Deputy Governors, and allow me to adopt all protocols as my previous speakers have done. And to start, first of all, by thanking very much our gracious host, Mwalimu wangu, His Excellency Governor Professor Kivutha Kibwana, and the First Lady, Nazi. Thank you very much for hosting us. And also to thank your very able Deputy Governor, my good friend Adelina Mwau, as well as the Senator Makueni, all the leadership of this great county of Makueni, for hosting us and for being very patient, because we started this journey last year with you. I remember we were set to come to Makueni in May last year. Then in March, the first case of COVID-19 was announced by my good friend Mutahi Kagwe. And it's then that we heard from Kagwe that if you treat this disease normally, it will treat you abnormally. That caused us to actually postpone this conference from May. Again this year, earlier this year, we were coming here for this conference, but there was an upside, and we were yet again forced to postpone it. Professor, we know that you lost quite a bit, and I want to thank the Chair COG, the CEO, and the teams that we worked with my co-chair, His Excellency Governor Ongwai. You put in many hours of hard work, and we had to do quite a bit in preparing this, but also ensuring that this conference goes on. I congratulate you and thank you for your patience, for your resilience, and all the service providers, because we know that everything was set before we called this off. So mine today, I know that you're all very tired. We've been here for 3 days. A lot has been said about climate change. A lot has been said about devolution. My colleague, C.S. Tobiko, was here, who is an expert in environmental matters. So I will not belabor the climate change issues that have already been discussed by previous speakers. On devolution, our president spoke about devolution, where we've come from, the journey, the opportunities, the achievements, the challenges. And my colleague, CS Keter, the CS devolution, has spoken much about it, and so have all the governors. So I'm not here to take you through that again. And I'm not here with a very long speech. The other day I was here and I saw Governor Wambora go through a very long speech. Governor, it wasn't an easy task. So today I'm just here to do a very simple act of officially closing this wonderful conference, but to also thank the conveners for choosing climate change, climate action, and the need of partnership by all levels of government to confront these existential threats that we face as a nation, as a people, and as a generation. We couldn't have picked a better time to discuss this because of what our country has gone through. As we speak, half of our country, the eastern part, is really stressed because of the ongoing drought. Yet when you go to the western part, ukienda kwa Oparanya kunanyesha huko almost every day. There's plenty of food. And we have, apart from drought, we've had floods in this country. We also had a desert locust invasion. And we also are confronted by COVID-19. I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, Kenya is a very resilient nation. But never in our history has our resilience been tested to this extent. And that is why we need to come together and put our heads together to talk about this. The resolutions have been read by Governor Ongwae, and I think we all know what part we need to play. On behalf of national government, I want to assure you that all the resolutions, recommendations for action by national government, we will undertake to ensure that we implement and we work together with you. We'll also urge the other players, and particularly both houses of parliament, our county assemblies, to do their part. I've looked at the resolutions and I can see very good recommendations that will need legislative action. And we will also be looking at how to fast-track some pending legislation. So honorable senators, honorable members of parliament and county assemblies, our speakers who are here, we still have work to do. We are happy that a lot has already been done, but we still have the disaster risk management bill that is still pending. I think I would urge Governor Ongwae that if also that could be included, so that we see how that can be fast-tracked and we get the necessary institutional and legislative framework in place to deal with these disasters that as a country we have been confronted back to back in the last 2 years. So I don't want to say much. I know that I was invited at very short notice just yesterday by Governor Wambora, and he told me unahitajika Makueni mara moja. Then I told the governor, nimekuwa Makueni. He said, no, we want you back. So I said, I didn't know the governor, as my good friend, had missed me that much. But I can tell you, I had also missed you. Lakini sio sana. Sababu, where I am now, I'm more peaceful, I can tell you. You know, dealing with these governors is not easy. I remember there was a time I was with my friend Governor Oparanya when he was chair. So we're with him having a very nice conversation. The next day I see him on TV threatening to shut down counties unless money was released immediately. Sasa hiyo headache nimeachia CS Keter apambane na hiyo. Kule niko sasa hawana mambo mengi. The generals ni watu wa order. Wanasema sir, we will be giving you a briefing on the security situation in Somalia at 800 hours. So then I asked my friend, they've given me a military assistant, it's called Major Mosol. So I asked him, 800 hours ndio saa ngapi? Then Mosol tells me, no, sir, they meant 800 hours. And that means 8 o'clock. So I told him, so uniambie tu saa mbili waziri kuwa hapo. Lakini hivyo ndio wanaongea in their military language, and I can tell you today we have a few minutes. I want to be very brief so that we can close at 1300 hours. Ili tuende tukule lunch. Mimi naona Gavana Ojamonga na changanyikiwa kidogo. 1300 hours ni saa 7 bana. Tuende tukule. So mine is just to say thank you, na sababu nimezoea mambo ya salute. I just want to give 5 salutes, then I will close. The first salute goes to His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta. When history is written, historians will have a very difficult time to say which is the greatest legacy of our president. Will it be the SGR, the many kilometers of rail that have been built for the first time since the 100 years since the Indian coolies were here? We had never added a kilometer of rail since then. Will that be his greatest legacy? Will it be the new ports, the port in Lamu, the port in Kisumu, the expanded port in Mombasa? Or will it be the 100% transition in education? In fact, it will be very difficult, but for me, I have said this before, and I want to say this again here in Makueni, that the greatest legacy of this president is going to be devolution. It is during his time that devolution was born, and during his time that devolution has been nurtured. When you talk to scientists, they tell you the formative years of a child start from year 1 up to year 8. Those are the most critical years of a child's life, because that is when the child really becomes who he will be or she will be the rest of their lives. And that also applies to devolution. And we must say thank you to the President for the leadership, and indeed he has earned the title of the father of devolution, because he was there and have overseen devolution born and nurtured. I also wish to salute, the second salute goes to the former President Mwai Kibaki and Prime Minister Raila Odinga. These are the leaders. Many people might forget 50 years to come that this country, faced with a choice of whether we should have devolution or not, 7 million Kenyans, led by President Mwai Kibaki and Prime Minister Raila Odinga, said, yes, we want devolution. We want this new constitution. And that is how.
Ni CS wa thirikari cia matura mundu gwetwo Eugene Wamalwa akere thini wake gomano kia kira kirarikuo kigi horo wa thirikari cia matura kuria mwena wa Wote county ya Makueni, na hau ne tugutiria mohoro maito na njira ndaya ma Inooro Mĩaraho ya umuthi na mohoro magi ukoma mukira wona cia hada thaa imwe cia hwaini ndu mwe na thaa 3 handu-ini ha ariothe mahariria mohoro maya ngagucokeria ngatho ni tuone na muthenya wa Jumatatu hindi ya tabarira ya Inooro rucini.
Kiuria giakwa ni kihuthu nu kiare na miaka igana kuma riu guthie na mbere ndukanarie cia pragia nduriaragia ndeto ciake hari o mundu uria wakinyire
Tareke niki urenda kuuga
njiro ndumwe baba wa kiara nu
niki uria kiri
wenda kurojira baba wa kiara nu niguo ndirenda